CEO of Choose Multi-Sport Bike Shops in St. Matthews, is helping us out this season. So we're a nonprofit. We are getting all that stuff off the ground. So we're welcoming sponsors. We're welcoming local support. So anybody wants to be involved in building a community of musicians and building some collaborative new music, you're welcome to join us. So we are so thankful for 21C having us play here. Having music in a new art venue is really great. A lot of times there's a big disconnect between the music world and the visual art world, and when you see this kind of thing happen, it kind of brings it all together. It helps that oral and visual divide. So thank you all very much for joining us. Our last piece is by Kellach, Waddle, but he will talk a little bit about it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here again. My name indeed is Kellach Waddle, and I am ecstatic that this is the first concert that starts my 2-year stint as the resident composer of Orchestra Enigmatic. All the rest of this season and all next season, there will be a piece of mine on every concert, and schedule permitting, I will be conducting most of them. I am a native Louisvillian. My family still lives here. I live here during the winter, and then I am in Austin the rest of the time, and then about a month and a half of the year I am on the road playing bass concertos and bass concerts and guest conducting and hearing other stuff of mine and such. So yes, I am one of the only people in the state of Texas who goes north for the winter. So I'm thrilled to be involved in something here in one of my homelands, and thank you, Jody, and thank you, Orchestra Enigmatic, that I will be here again for the next 2 seasons. Before we go, just a reminder of what else is coming up. The next concert is March the 30th. That will include some Mahler, some Debussy, and a brand new piece of mine for 7 strings and flute. And then on May 3rd, which is the Wednesday of Derby Week, a hassle of us are writing brand new pieces, all inspired by the music on Radiohead's In Rainbow's album. So we're very, very excited about that. And so a little bit about this piece. This piece actually is the only piece that is not a world premiere. This was the very, very first piece ever written specifically for this ensemble during the last half of its first season in 2013. But this is the first time that I myself am conducting it, and a little bit about what you're kind of going to get an oral picture of. After Jody and I had a drink and meet and talk about instrumentation and length and what have you, the next day I was writing some more sketches, and it came a major snowstorm. It was still late December-ish, where it gets very, very dark very, very early. And I was drinking some bourbon, of course, because it's Kentucky. So I thought there has to be bourbon in the title. And so I watched the snowfall as it got dark, indeed, at like 4:30. And then I watched the snow reflect in the first hour of the darkness. And then I wrote most of the rest of the material in this piece. If any of you are music aficionados, classical music aficionados that is, most of this is very dreamscapey and slow. The fast music in this is it's orchestrated very differently and it's harmonized very differently, but are direct quotes lifted from the first movement of Sibelius' Second Symphony, which to me, if you ever think about snow and a composer immediately jumps to your head, it's always going to be Sibelius, which ironically I had been played in Austin Symphony in my playing job right before I came to Kentucky that particular winter, and that I found out that U of L's orchestra is playing relatively soon. So if you hear snippets of something that sounds familiar in the fast music, those are links from Sibelius too. We are ecstatic that all of you were here today. Thank you again, 21C, and thank you all that were here on Friday night too. So here is the actually 4th hearing of my opus 439. This is indeed entitled, At the Snowy Bourbon Winter's Twilight Movement for Change.
Mhm.